Hey there detoxers, Improve here. Welcome back to another spicy video. Today there's been some dilemma. It hasn't really been today, it technically happened yesterday. Because when I upload this will be on Friday. So make sure to see this tomorrow, of course. And yeah, because got some very spicy, I'm saying this really weirdly now, milk and the spice. Anyway, Elon Musk, man, he's, even Andrew Tate looks up to him, so it's proof that he's a top G, but, because I now have upped my respect for him now, how he's been, increasing the moderation and the overall providing for the consumers, us, for Twitter. But anyway, he recently confronted this BBC reporter and put him in his place, so let's just see our reaction to it.
I would only just add that we have spoken to people who have been sacked that used to be in content moderation, and we've spoken to people very recently who were involved in moderation, and they just say there's not enough people to police this stuff, particularly around hate speech in the company. Is that
what hate speech are you talking about? I mean, you use Twitter,
right?
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
I mean,
but just a personal anecdote, like what do you? I don't.
Personally,
yeah, I don't see it too much personally. It happens, but I don't see it as much as 5 years ago when it used to be more popular before Elon owned it.
I would say I would see more hateful content in that.
Content you don't like or hateful? What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything.
It's not wrong.
I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content. I'm asking for specific examples. And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
don't. You can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't actually use that for you feed anymore. Because I just don't particularly like it.
But you said
a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a second. You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
Wow.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, then how did you see the hateful content?
Exactly.
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over.
Of course, he doesn't
then you must have
name one example.
For you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying.
Then I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of
facts.
Hateful content, not even one tweet. And yet you claimed that the hateful content...
This is exactly the same, right? Exactly the same, near enough, as most Andrew Tate's haters, right? They can't pick one. Now, a rational person, and I know this is technically separate, but hear me out on this. When people call Andrew Tate a misogynist or, a crazy, masculine man or whatever, or, just basically an asshole, they never come up with any evidence. The only best one is the slap, shut up, bitch quote that he said once. But that was it. And when everyone says that, calls him a misogynist, they never bring that up, ever. That was only one thing they said once. And I think that was taken out of context from what I remember anyway. Once. Every woman that I've heard who has talking to Andrew Tate, who is a high-value woman, they've said how much of a great role model he is to men and that he treated them fondly, But all these motherfuckers out here, these woke degenerates, would say otherwise. They'd say otherwise, about how fucking, he's just making society worse or, manipulating men. He's not. He's really not. The only thing closest is his, Hustlers University, which half of it's a scam in my opinion. But everything else, he's got his priorities right. He's trying to help men. But everyone always takes it out of context. Like KSI hating him and shit like that. Yet KSI won't even call him out and fight him yet. If KSI actually called Andrew Tate out to fight him, then I'd have more respect for him. I mean, personally, I support KSI and Andrew Tate, but for the past year, I've been looking up to Andrew Tate more than KSI, because KSI recently has become more of a hypocrite, you know, just like, and he's already said that, he's already fell off a bit when he said that racial slur on Sidemen and then not thinking of the consequences. So that was a big oopsie that happened a few days back. I don't know, man. It's just like, really, people really need to have evidence beforehand, and especially nowadays with social media, this is just pathetic where people say, oh, but you know, that person is such and such, or I've seen such and such. Okay, provide evidence, either with words, and then the person, the source, i.e. Elon Musk, will find the evidence, or someone who does research and shit. I could pull up a good example right now. CoffeeZilla, right? His content is about exposing scammers, whether it's in NFTs or other types of scams, but it's mainly NFT scams and other shit like that, right? He always provides evidence. Always. There's never been once where he's didn't provide zero evidence. So, come on, people. Snap the fuck out of it. Okay? Stop being a degenerate and fucking get your priorities straight, okay? To all you good listeners and supporters out here, appreciate it. I'm glad that you guys are starting to listen more.
Well,
That's a false.
no. What I claimed,
You just lied.
What I claimed was there are many organisations that say that that kind of information is on the rise. Now, whether it has on my
Give me
feed
one
or
example.
not, I mean, right, and
Literally
if you
can't
look at
name
something
one.
like
Yeah.
the Strategic Dialogue Institute in the UK.
That's
they all say
mad.
that. So
It's mad that the guy,
Say
that
all
the
sorts
reporter
of
won't even
nonsense.
give
I'm literally asking
any
for a single
evidence or
example.
any
Give me
example.
Right, and as I already said, I don't use that feed. But
Well, then how would you know?
I don't think this is getting
one.
anywhere.
You literally said you expect.
And people wonder why nowadays the BBC gets a shit reputation. People wonder. People literally wonder, and that's the whole reason why they've gone woke for the past fucking 10 years. Or more, but it's mainly been rising for 10 years. They only give the half of the report, and then the other part of it would just be bullshit, making it over exaggerated because they thrive off that shit. I've noticed that. That's why I've lost respect for BBC the past fucking few years, man. It's ridiculous.
More hateful content, and then couldn't name a single example.
Right, and as I said,
That's absurd.
I haven't actually looked at that feed.
Then how would
say,
you
for
know
a
this
few
hateful
weeks.
content?
Because I'm saying that's what I saw a few weeks ago. I can't give you an exact example. Let's move on.
Of course he can't.
We only have a certain amount of time.
Wow.
COVID misinformation. You
Amazing.
You've changed the COVID misinformation.
Has
rules.
BBC changed its COVID misinformation?
No, they haven't.
The BBC does not set the rules on Twitter, so I'm asking you.
No, I'm talking about the BBC's misinformation about COVID.
Facts.
I'm literally asking you about, you changed the labels, the COVID misinformation labels. There used to be a policy, and then it then disappeared. Why do that?
Well, COVID is no longer an issue.
Facts.
Does the BBC hold itself at all responsible for misinformation regarding masking and side effects of vaccinations, and not reporting on that at all? And what about the fact that the BBC was put under pressure by the British government to change its editorial policy? Are you aware of that?
Exactly.
This is not an interview about the BBC.
Oh, you thought it wasn't?
I see now why you've done Twitter Spaces. I am not a representative of the BBC's editorial policy. I want to make that clear. Let's talk about something else. You want to
I'm
talk about the
interviewing you
BBC?
too.
All right, let's
Exactly. Expect that.
You weren't expecting that.
Let's talk about something else.
Expect that. There you go. Sorry, that was just a friend of mine. Exactly. Literally. If you're interviewing someone, always expect them to interview you back. I've learned that lesson from listening to plenty of different podcasts over the years. And two, done my own in school, to help with autism and, and learn about people in the sport. But also soon, yes, it's getting delayed, but it will happen. I'm just trying to sort some things out. But I have got Audacity, so that application, I will do that for my podcast and also Zoom calls. Well, long story short, Elon Musk isn't in the wrong here for once. He's made a few mistakes on Twitter here and there, but it's very minimal mistakes. They're very tiny. Okay, I'd say 85% of the time, he's been on point with Twitter. Way better than the old, owners. Literally. That reporter is mad, man. He's been brainwashed by the BBC, clearly, man. He's not the type of people that would fucking defend those recent trans riots, those fucking stupid protests. Fucking, oh, it's mad. Right, love you, detoxers. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. See you all next time, and don't forget to do the hard work, especially don't feel like it. Peace.